Hi all. So in this lesson, we're going to take our drumming rhythms just to the next step. So by now, hopefully you can play a basic rock beat on the drum kit, where we have basically a bass, snare, bass, and we're just alternating between that bass and the snare, which is this hand, bass, snare. So hopefully we can do that by now. If not, you might want to take a step back and just make sure that you can do that without any issues. All right. So that rock beat, or basic rock beat, looks like this one here at the bottom, number 11 there, and you can see that the bass is alternating with the snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, and you can see that the hi-hat is just ticking along away at the top there. Okay. Now these notes here that are filled in and they have a stem but no tail and they're not connected to anything else, they go for one beat each. So if I add those up in this bar, so 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 4 fit in that bar because it's 4/4 time, basic 4/4 time. Now I have twice as many hi-hats, and that's because the hi-hats, because they've got this connected beam across the top, they only go for half a beat each, which means I can fit 2 of them in where I would only fit 1 bass drum. So the way we count these would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So to demonstrate that one, again, just as revision really, so 1 and snare and 3 and 4 and. Now just with the numbers, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So obviously I'm using my right leg as my bass drum. My right hand is my hi-hat because the hi-hat would be here, keeping in mind that we use this hand for the cymbals on the drum kit, and my left hand is on the snare, which sort of goes underneath, which is why I'm crossing my hands over. Now, let's look at our new rhythm for today. So I'm just looking at the top row here, or the top stave, and you'll notice straight away that instead of being grouped into 4s, our hi-hats are grouped into 3s. So that means I can fit 3 of them within one beat. Probably a good idea to practice the hi-hats first before you do anything else. And I'll show you how to do that. So with the hi-hat, with our right hand, basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now notice I'm doing 3 taps for every beat. 3 taps, so 1, 2, 3, 4. The other thing you want to do practicing this starting out is within each group, accent, or which means play slightly louder, the first note in each group. All right, so we're going to accent or play louder that one there, just to get that sense of rhythm happening. So I'll show you that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you've got that sorted, then it's time to move on and start adding the drums in. So let's have a look at our drums. We've got a bass there, which happens on the accented note here, and then we have 2 more of those. And then the snare happens on the accented hi-hat, and then the bass on the accented hi-hat, and the snare on the accented hi-hat. Now remember, when you're learning these, if you're struggling with anything at all, slow it down. I don't care if you have to do it stupidly slow to get it right. If once you get it right, it's a lot easier to ramp up the speed later on. But if you're trying to do it fast and you're not getting it right, then you're not helping yourself. All right, so you need to do it slow to start with. So it's a bass drum alternating to the snare, and I've got groups of 3 in this hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember with that snare that we're doing the 2 hands together. Think about it as hands together. Boom. I find students sometimes they're struggling to break apart which limb is doing what. But if you remember that when I play the snare, it's the 2 hands together. That can sometimes help some students. Oftentimes they'll play the snare there and they'll forget the hi-hat. I don't know why. It must be the way the brain works in putting that together. So another demonstration here. Maybe you'd like to see if you can do it along with me. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bass, snare, bass, snare. That's it. All right, and then you can play triplets in 4/4 time on the hi-hat. Good luck with practicing that, and let me know how you go with the video. Let me know if anything needs fixing up on the video or if anything could be clearer as well. That would be really helpful. Good luck.